An unfathomable world. A world we know exists, but nobody wants to get to know.
The men incarcerated here are extremely dangerous.
Those are chopping up heads and everything.
Total anarchy.
Another inmate attacked me. He stabbed my eye.
The more corrupt, the better for me.
Behind bars is a struggle just to survive.
I don't hurt anybody else. I just hurt myself.
And only the strongest will survive.
I keep on fighting to get out of here for them.
Their lives are always in somebody else's hands.
Pretty much caged animals. They'll lock you up and throw away the key.
Behind bars. In the toughest prisons in the world. The Philippines, a hot tropical country in Southeast Asia, jammed with 100 million inhabitants. A country in which 6% of the population is unemployed, in which the gap between rich and poor could hardly be bigger. The biggest problem? Drugs. Marijuana, crack, meth. Available all over the country. But those who take drugs will sooner or later end up here at South Cotabato Jail. They're drug dealers, rapists, and murderers.
I had to kill my nephew. It was self-defense.
Guilty or not guilty, all the prisoners are awaiting a hearing. Behind bars, often for decades.
I can't do anything but wait. I miss my family so much.
A trial of patience between desperation, heat, and a power struggle between the guards and those who are actually in control of the jail.
All I can think about is getting out of here, escaping.
Surviving in cramped conditions, without hope of release, in one of the most overcrowded prisons in the world. The South Cotabato Jail. New prisoners arrive at South Cotabato Jail every day, even though it's already massively overcrowded. This is the first time Roniel Dumagit has seen a jail from the inside.
Why are you here?
Stabbing.
What happened?
It was in a supermarket with a woman.
Ah, attempted murder.
The charge? Attempted murder of a cashier. But the 35-year-old Filipino has still not been convicted. Technically, South Cotabato is a pre-trial detention center. Most of the prisoners here are awaiting a verdict. The question is, if a verdict will ever be rendered.
No, he still, until he will be trying. Try from the court, then we don't know how long.
Some wait here for months, others for years. Whether guilty or not guilty, murderers or drug dealers, on the inside it doesn't matter anymore. All that matters on the inside is survival.
I'm really nervous. I don't know what'll happen now. It's my first time.
Roniel finds out sooner than he'd like what kind of world awaits him inside the walls. On the inside of one of the most overcrowded prisons in the world. Welcome to South Cotabato Jail. A jail that is bursting at the seams. The average temperature is a tropical 35 degrees Celsius. About 2,000 prisoners wait out their time in a space designed for a number only quarter that size. They live like caged animals. Sweat, heat, no privacy at all. Desperation and rage, all concentrated in a space that is much too small. In his very first hour in jail, Ronil will find out who's in charge, who occupies what place in the hierarchy, and what awaits him here in the future.
Everyone should know he's a newbie. And if he has enemies here, they won't recognize him immediately. We've all gone through it.
As a new prisoner, Ronil is at the bottom of the jail's hierarchy. He has no rights. His belongings do not remain in his possession for long. The goal is to break the newbie. He must start from nothing, with nothing in his pocket. He must possess nothing but insecurity and fear. And no one protects him.
I'm miserable. Everyone's watching me.
These are Ranil's last steps under the watch of the guards. Once he enters the cell block, responsibility for the newbie falls to one of his fellow prisoners, the cell leader. From now on, he decides when Ronil eats, when he gets to go outside, and where he sleeps. Ranil's new home, a 270-square-foot cell inhabited by 69 inmates. It's the cell for new arrivals, regardless of whether they're drug dealers or murderers. Everyone starts here, in one of the jail's fullest and hottest cells.
Get up there. You're new, so you sleep up there. Go on.
The stuffiest place at the very top in the corner, where the heat accumulates, where the air consists of sweat and frustration.
Being here is terribly stressful. I've never been anywhere like this before.
Starting now, Ronil must stay in the cell for 15 days. He can only go outside when the cell leader lets him and accompanies him. Ronil has no say in the matter. Only those who follow the rules survive in South Cotabato jail. The biggest problem? The jail is utterly overcrowded. In only 2 buildings, designed for about 600 inmates, 1,618 prisoners are doing time. About 150 of them are in so-called punishment cells, cells that are always locked, for dangerous criminals, repeat offenders, or sick inmates. The oldest are in a separate wing for seniors. Also in a separate wing, apart from the men, are 400 women. Essential for survival are the jail's kitchen, the prayer room, and the visiting area, which is open once a week. The entire compound is patrolled by only 5 guards. And their hands are tied. 20 public servants against about 2,000 inmates. An unfair fight. Rodrigo Baludio has been a jailer at South Cotabato Jail for 18 years. It is his job to keep the peace. But he must always keep 3 things in mind: the danger to his men, corruption, and maintaining a distance between guards and prisoners.
I don't let the guards enter the compound. Their contact with the prisoners should be minimal. Some of the inmates could develop a personal relationship with them. No matter what crime they've committed. And that can lead to other problems.
That means One of the only jobs left is to monitor the outer walls. The guards must rely above all on security cameras and on the hierarchy within the prison walls, because the jail is ruled from within. For Baludio, that's a mental strain.
I'm always under pressure. Every time my phone rings, I get goosebumps. I know that a call means problems, that something has happened inside, and I have to solve the problem as fast as possible.
Fights, escape attempts, hunger strikes. Baludio has seen it all. But he can't change the situation in the jail. His people go inside the walls only twice a day to do a head count. It's 4 p.m., about 2,000 prisoners all in one space, and one guard to count them.
30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 61.
The guard seems rather like a minion of those who are actually in control here. If Ronil breaks the law on the outside, he ends up in jail. Inside, he pays with his life. The one with the power to decide is known as the president, El Presidente. He is the boss in South Cotabato Jail.
We have rules here and you will follow them. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Respect me and do what the marshals and I tell you. Then you'll be fine.
The hierarchy is clear. On top, the president and his helpers, the so-called marshals, armed with clubs. At the bottom, newbies, like Ronil. Otherwise, the only way to power is money. Prisoners with money can buy what they need to survive. Cigarettes, food from the jail's kiosk, and above all, fresh water. Those who can't afford it have to drink groundwater. On the tropical Philippines, with an average temperature of 35 degrees Celsius, this is a dangerous proposition. It's easy to catch diseases like tuberculosis, and whoever gets sick gets locked away in total isolation due to fear of epidemics. A fear that one man in the jail doesn't have, Gleserio de Pedro. In the jail, he is known as El Presidente.
Number one,
first, people have to respect me. Then, I treat them well. If they listen to me and follow the rules, then I help them with their problems.
Gleserio de Pedro has been in South Cotabato Jail for 13 years. In this time, he has become the most powerful man in the jail. The reason? His wealthy family. And wealth is both power and a status symbol.
I'm here for murdering my nephew. We were having an argument over property, and the whole family thought I was the problem. They wanted me to die real soon so that they could get the land. So I saved my own life. I had to kill my nephew. It was self-defense.
No verdict has yet been returned, and the president is waiting. But he is waiting with privileges that no one else has. He uses his status to operate a lucrative barter operation. He gives prisoners money, and in return they give him televisions, cell phones, a custom-built bed, things that are technically prohibited. No one messes with the president and his marshals. Even the guards leave the most important job to the marshals, locking down the cells. It's 5 p.m., and about 2,000 prisoners have to be put back behind bars. Those who don't obey feel the whack of the club or the power of the president, a system that seems to work based on respect and fear.
I'm the overall checker and do the prep work for the guards. The prisoners trust and respect me. So do the guards.
The guards rely on the hierarchy that rules the jail. There'd be no way to keep the mass of prisoners under control otherwise. One level below the marshals in the hierarchy are the